Hello everyone, Namaste, my name is Elijah. Thank you for watching this special edition video forum. Right. Today I have with me returning guests, Grace Kim, Shamir Chahatma, and Yantara Jiro to my left. Okay. Could you guys briefly introduce yourself to the audience? Let's start with the roles amongst the pawns. Grace.
Oh, okay. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I'm an acupuncturist, teach yoga, and I do theta healing, energy healing, teach qigong, and yeah, that's basically it.
Shamir.
My name is Shamir. I was born in Singapore with Indian heritage, was raised in Austria, studied physiotherapy, a variety of energetic modalities such as craniosacral work, theta healing, now getting more and more into chemical activations with sound, vibration, frequency, and love to share my offerings, and I'm stepping into my purpose more and more, supporting people on their journey.
Yantara.
Hello, I'm Yantara. So I work with sound, I use a lot of light language, symbols. I do coaching sessions and secret tours and so many others that I would say it's a whole compilation of creating platforms for people to step into their own powers.
What these three spiritual practitioners have in common is two things. First of all, it's very rare that they are ever in town, and especially at the same time together, because all of them are always so busy traveling the world doing their light work that it's almost impossible to get them in town in the first place and together at the same time. So this is a really special synchronized coincidence, if you have it. Right? And another thing is about the length of time that these people have been serving as light workers. Right? For example, Yantara has been doing it for over 10 years, Shamir over 15 years, and Grace pretty much all her life. Okay, so this is unique, right? They have so much experience to share and teach you guys, and that's why having them back today for this forum discussion. The topic of our forum discussion today here in this video is about how to make spirituality a practical aspect of your life, right? In the first, so people think, what does being spiritual mean to begin with, right? Let's start with Grace. Grace, what do you think being spiritual mean? How do you lead a spiritual life?
For me, it's a non-religious label. I'm not really big on labels, but just for conversation's sake, I would say that spirituality transcends religion. It is it's a label of being connected to the source of all that is, connected to love energy, being very good-willed, having a very generous heart, open heart, and being connected to one another, just being connected to the higher vibrations, being high vibration individual, doing high vibrations, positive things for the world and for yourself and for others that you love.
That's great. Shamir, could we have your perspective of what being spiritual means to you?
Yeah, definitely everything that Grace just shared, I can totally support that. For me, on my journey, devotion actually is what is the essence of spirituality for me, meaning it doesn't need to be connected to any kind of practice. It can be in every breath, in every step that you take, just being aware of this connectedness, as Grace said, to oneness, the connectedness to all of existence, and holding this awareness and everything that one does in sacredness as an offering to something higher, to the unfolding of consciousness, to devoting oneself to fulfilling one's own higher purpose, and therefore being part of the divine higher purpose. Yeah, that's kind of.
And yet, Sarah, what does being spiritual mean to you? What does leading a spiritual life entail for you?
Well, exactly when I heard the word awareness itself, it really feels resonating with the idea that I have for spirituality, and awareness to me is, for spiritual to me, is like a connection between, a journey between your personality towards so-called your higher self or your true self, your inner self, your inner guidance. And the journey towards that union itself is a very spiritual experience. And spiritual on a 3D level, the reality level to me means harmony. Harmony in all different aspects of your life. So it could be on the subject of career, relationship, it could be about abundance, it could be about health, could be about your dreams, whatever that it is. There is some form of connection that is synchronizing, that is in resonance with harmony itself. And when all that is balanced, then that spiritual life itself automatically surfaces and arises.
Well, for me, I like to always make a joke about this. I always tell people, most people, when you meditate, feel awesome inner peace and harmony and one with the universe. And when they wake up from the meditation and suddenly their boss or client gives them stress or their parents give them grief, they suddenly become very negative and angry and emotional. And I feel, no, that's not what spirituality is about. It's about not just about feeling awesome when you are in meditation or going on a retreat, but carrying that awareness of high vibrational energy throughout your waking hour, your non-meditative states as well. So it can be walking meditation, eating meditation, you're carrying this high vibrational awareness and consciousness throughout every single second, and you can feel it in every cell of your body throughout your whole existence. So you're carrying that space with you, right, and not allowing any negative emotions or feelings that you do not want, you leave it out. So you carry that inner peace, bring it from inside outwards and throughout. That's what I believe spirituality, what it means to me.
I can totally support that. Like, it's not about necessarily the practice of meditation, but being in a meditative state throughout whatever you do. If it's cutting vegetables, if it's brushing your teeth, if it's talking to a friend, communicating with your children, with your partner. And that's, the meditative state is again that awareness. That
self-aware.
That Yantara was sharing about.
Yesterday I was just sharing with a friend, and he was just asking me, what does meditation mean? And I said to him that to me meditation simply means pay attention. And that you're just paying attention to whatever things you're doing. Say, for example, if you're playing an instrument, you're singing, or you speaking to somebody or engaging in something for a substantial amount of time, say even just 3 minutes, even 5 minutes. People nowadays have very short attention span. So for any prolonged period of time of the attention itself, you are in a particular state of consciousness. You are in the particular state of being, and as you able to prolong that again and again and again, you're able to then choose whenever that you want to place your mind on something to do whatever that you want it to do.
I also think being spiritual is about, like what you just mentioned, being able to immerse yourself fully in the present moment. And then you find that time stands still for you, right? There's no time. And linear time is only a construct of our 3D reality. So when you're able to, like what Shamir said, cut vegetables or brush your teeth, but with fully immersed whatever you do, 100%, that's being spiritual. Because living to your highest, following your highest excitement in any given point of time, right? Living your passion, and that's being spiritual as well, right? Many people have idea and lots of misconceptions about what spirituality is. They think that if you're spiritual, you cannot be materialistic, and they tend to be judgmental towards people who insist to continue to lead a materialistic life, and that's actually not true because they're both ends of the polarity and they're both equally valid and true experiences. Right. Could you guys shed some light in your experience and perspective on this? How can someone integrate a normal mundane routine life with working and taking care of their kids and their family and still infuse spiritual practices and into their lifestyle?
To add on to your materialistic point of view, the point of view of being materialistic versus spirituality, I honestly just think that it's about whether your possessions are possessing you or you possessing possessions. Is there some attachment to it? Is there some kind of negative energy towards it? Is there an element of vanity in a sense that's very negative? I mean, there's a fine line between being proud of how you look and then being very vain and very, it's just extremes, right? So for me, I think it's all about the intentions, how the relationship of you and a possession, if you're able to let go of that possession, if you're okay with yourself and you're not going to be too attached to it, I think you're in a healthy place. And I think it's objects are objects, but not to put too much importance to objects too, because of course it's just perspective as well. Value is a perspective. It's all subjective to everyone. What is valuable? And being materialistic, just because you're spiritual does not mean you have to be a monk to be spiritual. You can have possessions. You can wear makeup. You can look good. You can be proud of how you look. But it's just a matter of that energy behind it. The energy you want to spread to other people. Be happy.
And Sarah, what's your take on this? Because you will often tell me, I still enjoy luxury and items. I still enjoy whatever I want to enjoy, whether it's a long steam bath or a nice pair of branded shoes that make me feel good and comfortable and boost my vibration. Could you give us your take on this?
Just like what Grace said earlier too, as you mentioned about, like if you could let go of it, even if you don't have it, whether your possessions keep possessing you itself, I would say that learn to use it instead of rather be used by it.
Well said.
So whatever that we have in our lives itself, that arrives in our life is because we are resonating with the objects itself, or the person or the place. So whatever desires that you have, and as long as those desires itself are able to derive from a space of satisfaction, meaning that you really feel satisfied and you're really feeling good, and out of that space of goodness, you attract more goodness into your life, and those goodness could continue to be amplified. So I shared with people in the past about the polarities between I don't like this and I like this. So we oscillate between the two polarities of I don't like this and I like this. But if you could actually move beyond that, then we will be moving from I don't like this to I like this, from I like this to I like this more, and I like this more to I love it, and I love it, and to I so loved it. So even if you swing backwards, you won't swing all the way back, at least I hope not, to I don't like this. So then you're oscillating between plus and plus instead of plus and minus all the time. So if you're able to engage whatever activities or materials in your life with positive emotions and positive thoughts, and you appreciate the things that comes into your life, then you're not abusing it.
Yeah, and in that way I feel like gratitude is very essential, like the inner state of gratitude, just the awareness that everything that we are able to experience, that we receive in our lives, if it is something more energetic, spiritual, or everything material, that we receive it with gratitude and really honor what we receive, because otherwise it can be very, very egoistic, and it takes us away from this state, which gratitude, if we can perceive that, it brings us happiness, because we can relate in this thankfulness to what we get, and as we can perceive it within ourselves, it is also something that we can share with others more and more, which is also part of practical spirituality, to give as well, not take and possess, but to share the abundance that we have. And maybe previously, I think times are changing now. Previously, like spirituality was very much dedicated to transcendence and to higher realms. So the material aspects of the world, of ourselves, weren't that important. But now it is for us to bring this higher aspect into our physicality. So it's about recognizing the sacredness in our physicality as well, in the possessions, in our bodies as well, but then always also, I think, with the awareness, which is very important, of the balance. Not that we exploit other people, not that we exploit the earth for our possessions, but always keeping this balance.
Well, I completely resonated with what you guys just said. Detachment or non-attachment is not that you should own nothing, but that nothing should own you. So you should be in the space that regardless of whether you have something or not, it does not affect your inner peace, and because you are joyful and one with the universe, you feel complete and whole. So when you feel that inside of you, you don't really need anything external to bring you that contentment or joy or happiness, because you're really feeling it, you're really part and connected to it, right? But so when you have something, when you're blessed with something, abundance that's external or something material, it becomes a bonus. So it enables you to be more in alignment and to enjoy your high vibrational existence, but without it, doesn't matter, it doesn't affect you at all, right? So because you're already vibrating with love, with joy.
Yeah, state of gratitude. I like
Yes,
that.
exactly. With gratitude. Because if you, the missing ingredient is gratitude. Because if you don't have gratitude, it doesn't matter how much you have, because you will still be feeling like it's not enough, and you'll always be never enough. No matter what you have, you don't have gratitude. But yet, even you be grateful for what you already have, no matter what you have or how little or not have, it doesn't matter. You're feeling awesome.
Exactly.
Yes.
The inner state should be free and independent from the material realms and aspects, which doesn't mean that it has to exclude all of these aspects. But the inner state, is free and independent from that.
I would like to discuss, lots of this notion about misconception that people have about, when you are a spiritual being, right? You cannot mix it with money, having more money, or having sex, or sexuality. It's a dirty thing, so to speak, right? It's a private thing, and you cannot mix it. If you're a spiritual being, you cannot be sexual, and if you're spiritual, you cannot strive to have more money, which is obviously not mutually exclusive. It's one and the same energy that is abundance. Is abundance of health, wealth, and spirit as well, right? And it's you can still embrace your sexuality in a sacred way, and enjoy sexuality and money, and still lead a spiritual lifestyle. It's not separate. So could you guys expand on this? Let's start with Yantara.
Well, before I started all of this, in terms of this spiritual journey itself, and I think it was, I can't remember how long ago was that. Probably I was maybe 20 years old. I had a session that a healer was doing in energy work on me. It was my first time encountering any form of energy work. So very curious, very excited, and after the session I felt so many things. It was just really bizarre. But before I left, this lady said to me, and she looked at me in the eyes and said, in the future, when you do healing for others, do not be afraid to charge. So I looked at her and said, why would I be doing healing? Like, why would I be doing spiritual work? And so she said, well, if in the future, if you do that, then don't be afraid to charge. So I started doing meditation classes with people, and it was a very minimum, small amount of exchange. That was 10 years ago. And in my mind was like, for anything that is good, at the time you should be given for free. And I started to take on Reiki, which in one of the Reiki story, it mentioned that the people who received healing itself for free, not to say that we shouldn't give it for free when that is available and very much needed for some people, but many people do not know that the power of appreciation and gratitude itself. So when they receive it and there's not exchange in there, they begin to demand for more.
And they take it for granted as well. They don't appreciate it as much when they're not paying.
They get healed, but they don't really have an increased awareness and a better state of collective consciousness. To recognize that it is out of kindness. Of course, I give because I want to, not because I have to. But when there is an exchange itself, some form of respect appears, and that respect helps people to feel themselves as a worthy being, because they're able to attract abundance into their life to share with others. That's one. And then the other person who is a giver also feels that person is worthy because of something to give and therefore something to receive.
Yes, people value what they pay for. And when you receive with gratitude, you're actually giving the giver a chance to express generosity. So it's actually giving is receiving and receiving is giving at the same time. It's the same energy, and it should be in equal balance. Grace and Shamir, what are your thoughts on this? How can people mix sexuality, money, and spirituality together in their lives?
Yeah, like on the whole issue with money there, just globally there is a lot of, how should I say, there is a lot of charge in the field, because money as an energy can be used very manipulative, very exploitive, but at the same time, everybody right now on this planet needs money to survive. So if you are a spiritual practitioner or a healer, a light worker, of course you would want to receive money for the services, as everything else, every other service also needs this exchange of money. So that's something that is totally inclusive, and I as well, you know, had to release my belief patterns, because I really love sharing what I do, and I had my challenges at the beginning, like asking for money, because I felt like, oh, this is something so spiritual, how does it deserve money? Because I didn't see money as something spiritual, but I didn't honor myself and give myself the value and the worth to receive this abundance. So after that move, I'm really glad to receive abundance. But again, as I was talking before, it's about the balance. It's about, okay, seeing how much do I need to live a satisfied life for myself, to cover the basics for my life, that I can live freely and really do what I want. And if that abundance flows, I'm really happy to offer things for donations or for free. So it is always having that in awareness, not like craving and wanting more and more and more, but being able to sustain oneself. And then again, this giving and receiving, it's about sharing, keeping the flow circulating, that it goes and it comes back again, just having that inner trust. And then in terms of sexuality, also I went through my journey of, okay, sexuality, it's, as you said, like a lot of these belief patterns, it is dirty, but yeah, as I was sharing before, now it is the time where we are ready to embody our spirituality, our transcendence, and therefore our body enjoying our physicality is a big part of it, and sexuality is a big component of that. And in that form, like, there is a way of sacred sexuality where the partner is honored, you honor yourself. There is so much wisdom, especially like the women carry so much wisdom in their yoni, in their womb, and there is like big healing happening on a collective field right now to really recognize the sacredness of sexuality again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I support everybody's comments so far. As far as money goes, I would like to add that it is a form of energy, and in this world, of course, to support healers, to pay back for healing, of course, is the form of money, and in other forms as well. It could be a barter system, it could be other services in exchange, but as long as there is an exchange of energy, again, we're abiding by the universal law of giving and taking. It does give back. When you give back your appreciation, you pay for a service, it gives back a lot more. It returns that self-respect, of course, and a lot more abundance and a lot more energy back to you. And of course, as a practitioner, you're giving a lot of energy and care, and it's not just at the session, it's even preparing for the session. You have to also remember that it's a whole lifestyle that healers have to commit to in order to provide that service for people who are in need, as well. So it's also helping sustain the livelihood of a healer. It's also going to allow that healer to further provide that service, because there's a lot of healers out there who do part-time jobs because they're not charging what
they deserve
and what's sustainable for their lifestyle. So unfortunately, so much of that time is lost trying to accumulate money elsewhere, where they could have just been charging for their healing services and being able to make a living off of that, continue to serve more people. So in a way, it's kind of like giving back. It's like the circle of life of exchanging this wonderful energy, and money can be used negatively as well. I mean,
Depends on the intention.
The intention, again, it's all about spiritual practice in your everyday life. It's like, how am I going to use this money in a means of appreciation and giving that exchange? So you could always use that principle for everything that you do in life, and even with sex, even with your sacredness. And I love that word, sacredness. when you're practicing just worshiping yourself and respecting yourself. And of course, it's good to be spiritual and to be in tune with your sexual self and your sexual energy and your sacredness. This is a journey that everybody goes through, and I'm sure we've all gone through the same journeys. And
I think that the root chakra is as divine and as sacred as your third eye.
they're all
yes,
equally
they're all
sacred.
yeah.
equally sacred. Exactly. It's not just okay. Let's open this and then ignore this. Right. All your chakras need to be in balance. Right.
Yeah, and it is.
Yes, from your crown down to your root.
And it is the heart when we talk about like spirituality, the daily practice of spirituality. It all connects in the heart. If it is something that has to do with finances, if it's something that has to do with healing, if it is sexuality, if the heart is involved and the intention of love, I think that is the main thing in bringing it into a day-to-day practice.
That's right.
Yeah. So truly, everything is neutral. It is core, right, including money and sex. So it's just what you do with that money that makes it carry a negative connotation or but it can also be a means for lots of positivity and lots of empowerment to others and to yourself as well. Right. So yeah.
And also in terms of sexuality, there are practices which you can practice with your partner to cultivate the circulation of energy, the opening of the heart, the giving, the receiving. That's what is part of our essence as human beings as well. And yeah, that's something I feel which I'm learning as well, to cultivate and see the beauty and the magic in that divine connection.
I think the idea of a lot of people who want to step into spirituality, and perhaps maybe they might never consider themselves to become a so-called official practitioner. They were just like, oh, I just like to be part of it, and it feels good. The idea of eating greens more and doing more yoga and being more kind to myself and others and feeling more worthy and all that. But when it begins to transcend even further, to say that, hey, my current job no longer aligns with my new lifestyle, because the new lifestyle really feels good, and I would like to perhaps even make a living out of it if possible. So then they will think further and like start to bring in many different elements, like subjects we're talking about, like money, sex, and all that. And the word that stopped them basically is in the subconscious, even in the collective conscious, I feel is the word shame, which has to do with like, I'm shameful that if I'm doing something good, I actually shouldn't receive something good in return. It should be given just like that. And that spirituality, because it's so pure, so clean, it shouldn't have anything to do with the body and any of that. So it's the education, I feel. There's some form of education that needs to help people to understand more about themselves, with coming up again with the word sacredness and honoring yourself as how you're being born, the body that you have, and all these different parts of you as you embrace and accept. So then eventually the shame, which is the old story, disappears.
Well, we all chose to be physically incarnated beings. As a physically incarnated being, we are a trifold being. We are body, mind, and spirits. They all need to be in holistic balance, a combination. So we shouldn't neglect one aspect. Just let's focus on spirit and neglect the body. No, or in totality.
It all starts with loving yourself, and with that love energy, of course, you're part of that whole oneness, that whole love everywhere. And because everything resonates with love, and when you start with loving yourself, your body, that whole cultivation of self-respect and respecting others and loving others, you really got to start with loving yourself and going through all the processes of clearing out these constructs of shame, guilt, fears, and it takes time. And of course, there's great healers out there, including ours, who help people on their way of helping people to clear these blocks from reaching that level of being appreciative, loving yourself, loving others, having everyday transactions and activities with the intention of good and with an underlying energy of love. I mean, with goodwill. You know, it's that's part of spirituality. That's part of the spiritual path. You know.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Thank you all for your sharing. That was very awesome. And any last words of advice, Yantara? And do you want to say something about how the audience can reach you?
Right. Firstly, I would just to share with all of you this last part, which is encourage you to give permission to yourself to play responsibly. And you can easily find more of my videos too on my own YouTube channel. There are different activations and other forms of speech and sharing different subjects on yantarajiro.com.
Alright, Grace, any last words, parting words of advice?
Well, I am writing a book to help people to raise their vibrations, lifestyle guide, and one step of living with self-love is to look into nutrition and to really respect the body, to really take care of yourself. So we'll be providing this information in that ebook later on. You can check my email, my website below, and of course, eat well, drink good water, practice, and just remember that it is a practice, so you don't have to force yourself too much, and
Just take it at the pace that you can
That's
manage, right?
Yeah,
It's
because
meant to be
that's not
enjoyable.
instant, so just take it easy without judgment. Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, I can join that and say it's about the journey, and connected to the journey, I would say, learn to listen to your heart beyond everything, all the other chatter in the mind. Learn to listen to your heart, and I would encourage everyone to follow their hearts, because there is where, the deepest wisdom lies.
How can the audience reach you, Shamir?
Yeah, you can have a look at my webpage, shamiracle.com. I also work together with my partner very much. So Sonic Rose Alchemy is also a webpage where you can see what we offer on upcoming retreats, trainings, workshops, support and facilitation of beautiful magic unfolding.
Fantastic, thank you. I'd like to end and close this forum by saying that spirituality is meant to be fun, so don't take it so seriously, right? As all things in life, we came here for the experience, for the evolution, and to grow in the process and create heaven on earth while we're at it. So we're just here to experience life and to bless and touch whoever's we are meant to give and assist. And I have you guys to thank, all three of you, for assisting me in my own journey and encouraging me and supporting me in my spiritual work as a practitioner. So please support these people. They actually have prior videos in my video channel, so if you'd like to see my other videos with these three, right, they're the most eloquent speakers that I have encountered. So do subscribe to my video channel and watch the other videos with them. Alright, I hope to have them back in a future video forum if destiny so permits us. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you again in the future video.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Blessings. Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.